Uche Onyegucha happens to be the Imo East senatorial candidate under the People's Democratic Party. Honorable, you're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Now, Honorable, of late, Imo State has been on the news because of some security concerns and some security issues in Imo State. And I want to ask you, how and why do you think Imo State has fallen into this level of insecurity?
In my honest opinion, Imo State has fallen to this level of insecurity of lives and property because of failure in governance. Governance requires that the populace have to be carried along. I believe that in every situation where the populace are carried along by the government, the level of insecurity which we are witnessing in Imo State will be impossible, because I believe in citizens' action by way of support for government. And it is the responsibility of the government to galvanize the citizens to take up to their responsibility by supporting the government with information and intelligence to ensure that the level of insecurity which we are suffering in Imo State does not occur. But the government has failed to do this because perhaps one would say that they have not been able to buy into the confidence of the people.
Okay, now, Imo State people speak about the Ebubago security outfit. Honorable, do you know about this, and has Imo State House of Assembly passed a law establishing Ebubago?
I am not aware that Imo State House of Assembly has passed a law formally establishing Ebubago. And if they have, I'm not aware that such a law was subjected to public debate, because there ought to be a public hearing for such a serious law. I am also not aware that other security agencies like the police and the SSS have been sufficiently carried along, because for Ebubago to function effectively, the police have to be carried along, the state security service have to be carried along, the civil defense have to be carried along, the vigilante have to be carried along, and the entire citizens must be mobilized and carried along. That is the only way Ebubago can be very functional. And I'm not aware that this has happened.
Now, talking about Ebubago, there are reports that operatives of the Ebubago outfit conducted an operation last Monday in Orogwe community. And now, at the end of that, operation, they took away a member of the community. And now the report indicates that the following day, unknown gunmen again attacked that same community. What is actually happening in Imo State?
Well, I am not aware of the activity of Ebubago in Orogwe. For now, I leave it at the level of speculation. But I'm aware that about 7 persons got killed in the last 2 days. I'm aware also, because the members of the Hausa and Northern community visited me to inform me that 7 of the persons who were killed are from Niger Republic. I am also aware, through the information they gave to me, that these people are scavengers, which is unfortunate, because such poor people have no reason to fall victim of this level of insecurity. Neither the rich nor the poor should, but it is more unfortunate when poor people who are struggling to eke out a living lose their lives as a result of this level of insecurity. It is unacceptable. I condemn it in every ramification, and I think it should not be encouraged in any way. No person should lose his life or property as a result of insecurity. That is why I have continuously advocated that the federal government, alongside with the Imo State government, must wake up to their responsibility to protect lives and property in the country and in Imo State in particular. And where they are not able to do so, Mr. President should resign. the governor should resign, because the principal responsibility of government is to protect lives and property. And the situation where they cannot protect lives and property, they have failed in their primary responsibility in governance. And where they so fail, they have no reason remaining in government. So I ask them once again to wake up to their responsibility or resign from government. In fact, as of today, in the governor's local government area, which is Oru East, if out of the 27 local government areas, the governor is not able to secure lives and property in one, and that one happens to be his local government area, Oru East, I will say clearly that the governor knows that he has failed. And having failed, the only responsibility left for him is that he should resign. We should stop pretending about it. Accusing opposition like the governor does often is not acceptable, at least for a start. One expects that he should have lives and property in one out of the 27 local governments of Imo State, and he should start with his own local government, Oru East. Blaming it is not sufficient, it's not healthy, and it is not acceptable. It does not matter how you look at it. Constant cases of crisis and loss of lives in Oru East and in Osu, which is his federal constituency, is not acceptable. And I think he should find it necessary to call a town hall meeting where genuine leaders of the people will join hands with him and make suggestions on the way forward. I have always insisted that to guarantee security, you must mobilize the people on your side.
Now, Honorable, let's look at what an ugly situation that happened in Imo State in the last few weeks. The killing of 14 young men in Olu area of Imo State. Now, the governor says they were killed by DSS in an operation against bandits. Now, the bodies we've seen were carried in wheelbarrows by community members. There was no evidence of arms or ammunition in them. Even the DSS that paraded somebody who admitted to leading the DSS to the camp of the bandits did not show any evidence that those who are killed were armed. Are these unarmed bandits? And then should the security operatives shoot and kill unarmed bandits? And should Imo people accept that security operatives should kill unarmed bandits? And then the governor justifies it. What is your reaction to this?
Well, the governor justifies anything because it's convenient for him, but no life of any citizen of Imo State should be lost through such a reckless approach. And I would say that I'm not very sure that the SSS has openly and genuinely accepted responsibility for that incident. You may carry out your own investigation, but our information is that the people were shot with pump action guns. I am not aware that the SSS uses pump action guns, because if you carry out a ballistic test on the corpse, you will realize that they were shot with a particular type of gun. Why has the government not gone to investigate it genuinely to tell whether the guns with which the people were shot are guns belonging to the SSS or guns belonging to other groups outside of the State Security Service?
Okay, so
but I will say that these are the seriousness that we have been pointing out. One expects that the SSS should cherish their integrity and come out to speak honestly on this subject matter, but they have chosen to keep silent the way they are doing, which is not acceptable. But then I am also not aware that if security agencies shoot perceived criminals, that they leave them and walk away. How come these people were shot and the security agencies that they claim shot them did not carry their corpse? To the extent that these people had to arrange wheelbarrows to carry the corpse from the so-called places where they claim that they were shot and took them to the mortuaries where they are being presently kept at the moment.
I'm going to ask you, is Imo State now a battleground for terrorists? Is Imo State now a new Meduguri Borno State? And are we having a reign of supremacy of banditry and terrorism in Imo State?
Well, thank you for admitting that Imo State, before the coming of this government, was the most peaceful state in Nigeria. And Imo State, before the coming of this government, had the safest nightlife, to the extent that everybody from Anambra, from Rivers State, from Abia and Enugu, everybody loves and loved to migrate to Owerri every weekend. People flying from Abuja to spend their weekends in Owerri, people flying from Lagos and from all over the world. That is no longer the situation here. And I believe that it is as a result of the level of insecurity. It doesn't speak well of this present administration. How come Imo State was so peaceful before you came, and ever since you came, the place is being riddled with insecurity? I have continued to insist that Imo State can return back to the good old days where security of lives and property was very guaranteed. And how to do it is that the government must continue or come down to town union levels, religious organization levels, and community associations, and even the age grades. Let us face it, the age grades were the institutions through which law and order was maintained in the old Igbo tradition. I believe these groups are still necessary if we are sincere about restoring law and order in Imo State. I would want to give Imo State government under Emeki Hedion. We had a situation where there was heavy tension in the Egbema community, between the Egbema community and the Fulani herders. And it was so high that we feared that there was going to be loss of lives. I led the discussion between the Egbema community and the Fulani herdsmen. I invited leaders and members of Miyetti Allah and the different cattle herders association. We had meetings in my office. We invited the commissioner of police, the brigade commander, the director of SSS, the man in charge of the Air Force, and the civil defense. We had a long meeting. And when I realized that that meeting needed us to go through the night for us to achieve our target, we stayed awake in my office till 3 a.m., reaching out to all the groups wherever they are and asking them to lay down their arms. And at the end of the day, we were able to deflate the tension in the Egbema community. And at the end of the day, no lives were lost, no property was lost, not a single bullet was fired, and not a single person was wounded. There was no fight because we had sleepless nights, talking to everybody who was involved, reaching out to everybody who had ears to listen, and ensuring that they played their roles. The government must be prepared to make enormous sacrifices to reach out to genuine leaders. We invited the genuine leaders of Egbema community. It wasn't easy. It was tough. It was difficult. We invited the genuine leaders of the Miyetti Allah and the Fulani cattle breeders. We had meeting. I didn't say because I was SSG, oh, therefore, I am going to close down my office by 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. I stayed awake till 3 a.m. with the approval of the governor until every single issue that was generating crisis was resolved. At all times, the PDP is open to a genuine discussion with the government to find a lasting solution to these problems. We are open to the extent that we are willing to go into any discussion to make our contributions, but we cannot force ourselves on the government.
Thank you, Honorable, for being part of the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.